And here we are. Welcome back to the channel for the latest video on GT7, and we're going to show you how to win 2 million credits in under 2 minutes. So this is an online time trial, so go to your sport mode on your main menu, click onto your online time trials. There's two to choose from. We've already done the one in the Hyundai Ioniq at the Nürburgring Sprint. There's a few days left on that one, so have a look if you haven't already. And we're going to concentrate on the brand new one at Alsace Village in the Porsche 911 GT1. We're going to rent the specified car, click on the green arrow, click on the car itself, which you've got a few colours to choose from. We're going to choose the white. Wait for it to load up, press OK, and away we go. So to earn your 2 million credits on this time trial, you need a lap time of a 1 minute 55.920. To earn 1 million credits, you need a lap time of a 158.171, and to earn 250,000 credits, you need a lap time of 2 minutes and 3.798. In terms of assists, we're running no traction control, counter steer we have off, and ABS on this challenge we're running on weak. So, on to the lap itself. We're going to use a reference for the Ghost from the top 10 in the world. First braking point, we're looking at that 50 board on the left hand side and brake in before we get to that 50 board. Very important on this car to brake early, so the old cliche, the old saying goes, slow in, fast out. It really does work for this car. We're going to come down to second gear and accelerate in third. Be careful on the acceleration. Do not plant the throttle straight away in any of these corners. A lot of power going to these back wheels, so the car will oversteer. Coming to this left-hander, absolutely flat out. When that marshal's post on the right, that's when you want to start turning in, but be nice and smooth with the steering. You want to stay as tight to the left-hand side as possible. When you see the end of that curb on the left-hand side, that's when you're going to hit the brakes. You can brake quite late in this corner. It's slightly banked on the outside, but you want to release the brakes and let the car rotate around at the end and accelerate into third gear. Again, be careful on the accelerator. As you come to the left-hand side, we're going to use that post to that pole there as a reference. And all we're going to do is come off the throttle. We're not touching the brakes at all. So come off the throttle, let the car rotate around, kind of play with that throttle. And then when you get to this big tree on the left-hand side, you can use that as an acceleration reference to try and go flat out. So we're not touching the brakes for that corner at all. Push up the car will grip, but you do need the right line for that corner. Quite a tricky one to get right. The next right-hander, we're looking at the yellow markings on the end of the barrier. As soon as you get to that, you're going to hit the brakes. Come down to second gear. Again, release those brakes as the car's turning in. Shift up to third to get the best traction out the corner. Next little right, absolutely flat out, but be careful not to take too much of the corner on the inside. This one is really difficult, not much of a reference for this one, but when this kind of tree comes out of shot, that's when you're in braking. Definitely braking before you hit these arrows on the right hand side. So we're going to try brake quite a lot into this corner. You can see we're really holding the brakes. And as we get to the apex, we're going to shift up to fourth gear. Accelerate again to get the best traction out the corner. Tricky one to get right now, this one. Banked corner really fast. We're going to come off the accelerator. We're going to get to this bush on the inside. We're just going to tap the brakes. And we're only tapping around about 30% of the brakes. And we're letting the car's downforce do the rest of the work. So as the car comes down to the right hand side, that's when you can plant the throttle. Getting it nice and early. Next tricky hairpin coming up. As we're looking for that white line in the middle of the road as our brake reference, as soon as we hit that white line, we're going to hit the brakes and try and stay to the left hand side as much as you can. You can see we could have got a lot wider there on the left hand side just to cut back in, but nonetheless we do a pretty decent job of keeping it tight. Accelerate into third gear, swing the car over to the right hand side. The first arrow on the right hand side, that's when you start turning in for this left hander, and all we're going to do is come off the throttle and try and get straight back on it as soon as you can and as early as you can, because it's uphill, but it's a tricky one to get right. The back end does come loose on that corner. So on to the last difficult section. Again, no real braking reference, but we're looking for that yellow marking in the end of the barrier, and we need to brake in before that, quite a lot before that, to be honest. Again, that is a very difficult one to get right. Many times you come to this corner and you will overshoot it. Just be careful coming to this. This could really ruin your lap. As you come to the end of that barrier on the left hand side, tapping the brakes again, come down to second gear, and accelerate into third and get close to that barrier on the right hand side without hitting it. And we come across the line for a 153.219. So at the time of recording, that puts us P20 in the world. So a decent lap, good enough lap actually to give you a decent reference. And well within the limit for gold and your 2 million credits. So as we look at the chase cam, we're going to show you just another perspective of the lap itself. And just before going any further, guys, if this does help you, please like and subscribe to the channel, where we do a lot more of these, as well as time trials for daily races. And we also do lap guides for circuit experiences that can get you a lot of big credits in very little time. So back to the lap itself, you can see this next corner, stay left, as tight left as you can, run down the hill, let the car rotate around, get an acceleration as early as you can, swing the car over to the right. Don't go too wide there on the right hand side, because then you've really got to cut back on the left and you'll lose grip as you do that. So try and stay to about the middle of the road, around that left hand corner. Next right, again as we turn in, we need to release those brakes. Very, very important as you turn in to release the brakes as well. Holding those brakes too long will cause the car to understeer quite bad. And it has a knock-on effect, and I think this is one of the hardest things to get right on Gran Turismo for me, is the braking. It's very easy to hold the brakes too long and end up overshooting the corner, even by a couple of meters. But then you're having to kind of really hook the steering or put full lock on then to get around the corner, which is then creating more tyre temperature, scrubbing the tyres more, which then takes longer to get an accelerator. So you can see every time you look at these brakes, look as we're turning, we're coming off those brakes. And that is a trick. It's a very hard one to get right, but trial braking does help on this game as well. And this is something I've tried to focus on, different aspects of my driving, but I think braking for me is very, very important, and one of the biggest things that can gain you or lose you a lot of time. And it's not just for braking power, but just for braking as you're turning in the corner can help rotate the car slightly more, which then allows you to get on that throttle a bit more, which then gives you more speed down the straight, and that's what it's all about. These little fine adjustments will make massive differences in this game, and it takes a lot of practice. And I'm not there yet, you know. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time and effort to get where you need to be. Unfortunately, I don't always have the time to go on it as much as you like, you know, maybe 3 times a week, sometimes if that. So it's just about implementing what you know or what you learn as best you can. So that's what I'm here for, you know, to try and help out as well. And like I said before, if this does help, then please leave comments and let me know. Like and subscribe to the channel. And as usual, we'll leave you with the rest of the replay. Have fun, enjoy the credits, good luck, and I'll see you on the next one. Laters.